power that resides within you is boundless and eternal. The greatness that has been lying dormant, waiting for you to awaken to it, is now within your reach. The world has always needed leaders like you, chosen ones, individuals who are divinely called to step into their full potential and lead others toward higher truths. You are not ordinary. You are extraordinary, a vessel of divine energy, capable of accomplishing the unimaginable. The strength, the wisdom, and the power that you have always longed for. Hello. Waiting to be realized. It's so weird. I'm thinking that you can hear me. I don't usually have a background like this. And fully embrace who you are meant to become. The greatness you are destined for is not an abstract concept. It is a tangible path, waiting for you to walk it with confidence, clarity, and purpose. You may have doubts or fears, but remember this. Those doubts are simply the remnants of an old, limited self, and they no longer hold any power over you. The more you embrace your divine calling, the more the universe will align to support you. The only thing standing between you and your greatness is the decision to fully step into your divine role. It is time to manifest the gifts that have been bestowed upon you. Which part's funny? That you can see me down here? Hi. I wish I knew how to make this thing not be like that, but I guess if you could read lips. Do not wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is now. You have everything you need to step into your divine role. Begin by trusting in the power of your intuition and the wisdom that is already within you. Speak your truth, act with purpose, and lead with integrity. The world is waiting for you to step forward and embrace your divine calling. It is time to manifest your powers. Whether that means... What's up, dude? Long time no see. This is so random right now. So random. I didn't even know if I could make this thing. I thought I was covering the whole picture, but I could see my lips at the bottom. Hey, you want to come up here? I forget you can hear me. Let's see. You were chosen for a reason. I don't exactly know how to do this, but and everything you have gone through has led you to this very moment. You are here now. This is just one of those pictures that you're suspended. Oh shit. Deal. Okay. Well, you're here in spirit. I put this up because I thought it was really interesting. You know, dude, that's how some of us deal with that, for real. I put this thing up here because it's about, to me, it was about the Jezebel spirit, and that is what goes after the prophets. And this is what was said to happen on the 8th. So that's why I put that up. I don't even know if I can change it. Like, I was totally experimenting with this. But I was just on a live shortly ago, and it was chaos. So I thought, I didn't even check to see if they opened a live. I just said, you know what? I've been wanting to put this thing up here and see what happens. I don't really necessarily want to talk about this, but the reason that I thought it was really neat is because of not being able to, of him being on speech, good with speech laws, like trying to protect the speech. And that's what has happened in several places. But if I'm doing an experiment, I would definitely do it. As you walk in alignment with your divine nature, you will see the world around you shift. You You will begin to notice the power within you manifesting in ways you never thought possible. And as this happens,
Yeah, I'm starting back my interviews in October, but I've logged on several times. Do you know how much psychological pressure we are going through in Palestine? I really cannot say that I do, but I know that I'm constantly in prayer, constantly transmuting energy toward balancing the power and having it leveled out back to. You can't say that word, I don't think, if you're going to talk on here, but I'm not real positive about that. Yeah, I mean, it's unreal, but I know that this is what's happening at the end of the world. So that's what I'm praying to go off of the planet to not be that way anymore. Let's see if I can do it like this. Yeah, the whole planet's going through it.
Have prophetic dreams been showing you faces you do not yet
Hear your voice. Use headphones so your voice out. Okay. That still doesn't tell me how to do none of that.
Not everyone is meant to hear this word. If you are not one of God's chosen, you should stop here. But if you know in your spirit that you are marked by heaven, then this is for you.
Thank you. That's my girl. I love her so much.
And when this meeting takes place, it will shape the spirit realm in ways you cannot imagine. Chosen one, heaven is preparing a connection that will multiply your strength, sharpen your discernment, and push your destiny.
I wonder if the power button will turn the live off.
But God has already spoken it into motion.
That's why you are
here right now, hearing this prophetic word of the
Tina quit some time ago, just saying.
Before we go deeper,
can you believe I drink 6 times a day?
As a sign that you are ready for this mission. And don't forget,
oh yeah, I was like, it's been a year since I drank, but I had to get safe, and I know that it is not safe right now over there in Palestine. I'm listening to the planet Neptune right now, the frequency of Neptune, and the thing on TV is, I would say, the Galactic Federation, but it's not exactly the Galactic Federation. But I am absolutely trying to figure out how to change this picture. Even though it does open the conversation up to talk about witches, which is what they were talking about before. That's not it. Oh, I found it. There we go. That's the one I want. Can actually see the comments better too.
You are powerful. But when God unites you with another chosen one, your authority multiplies, and the spirit realm trembles at your agreement. The enemy knows this truth, which is why he often tries to keep chosen ones isolated, wounded.
Funny bunny, that's so cute.
He fears the power that arises when two chosen ones
Sam.
Think about your journey. You have endured loneliness that felt unbearable. You have prayed for understanding, only to be misunderstood. You have carried a mantle that others could not comprehend. All of this was part of your refining, but it was never meant to last forever. Isolation produces strength, but connection produces expansion. God allows the chosen one to walk alone for a season, not as punishment, but as preparation. When the time comes for you to meet another chosen one, you will be ready, sharpened, disciplined, and aware of your true identity. Chosen one, consider this. Even Jesus did not walk his mission alone. He surrounded himself with disciples. He sent them out 2 by 2. He partnered with those appointed to carry pieces of the assignment with him. If the Son of God,
demonstrated the necessity of divine partnership, how much more should you embrace the truth that you too are called to walk with another chosen one? This is not about you.
Hey, saved.
Heaven never intended for you to fight alone.
Oh, I've saved. I was born in a battle zone too. A war zone, I called it, but.
When one prays, 1,000 are put to flight. When two agree, 10,000 flee. Agreement in the spirit multiplies authority in ways the human mind cannot fully measure. This is why meeting another chosen one is not a casual event. It is a divine appointment orchestrated to release a new dimension of destiny. The chosen one understand this as well. The waiting, the loneliness, and the seasons of silence are necessary. They teach you to depend fully on God before depending on man. They sharpen your ears to his voice, so that when another chosen one enters your life, you will not mistake their presence for your source. God remains the source. The chosen one you are called to align with is simply a vessel through whose mission will multiply. You must also see that isolation has been an attack. The enemy thrives on division and loneliness. He wants chosen ones to believe they are the only ones walking the path, the only ones enduring the battles, the only ones carrying the weight. But that is a lie. There are others like you, chosen and set apart, walking their own paths of refinement, waiting for the moment of alignment. When God unites you, it will not feel forced. It will feel like destiny itself. So take courage, chosen one.
What's up? I'm feeling some kind of way.
What's up? What's up?
I said I'm feeling some kind of way. I was just on a live and oh my gosh, you talk about the roots of all evil is coming out in every direction, and then they just abrupt because I had to chime in the comments, and the live abruptly ended. So I thought, let me just go. I've been experimenting over the last week or so with trying to get pictures up instead of my face because I never knew how to do it, and I kind of found it. But you see this here? You can still see it under there, so it's weird. But so basically, this is just kind of a hanging out. This is what boredom does. Usually, I would drink or something, but now I'm sober, so I guess I'm a TikTok addicted. What you doing?
Me just getting ready to do some additional work because it's been a super long day. It took a 20-hour day for me.
Damn.
Someone's got to pay the bills. And that's unfortunately me. So
I know what you mean. I was the kind of day. Of course, it wasn't a 20-hour day, but
this is completely out of the norm, right? So it's like, and tomorrow do like a second long release, like another 16 hours or so, and that's it. And I have Monday and Tuesday of next week off.
you rest. Do you rest a lot when you're off?
No.
Golly. I'm either resting or working.
Yes.
And I said I work a 20-hour week for a living.
Oh, that's awesome. I envy you.
Well, that's when my life fell apart, it was because I worked all the time and so much, and I had kids going in every direction, and it was like I just went into a state of shock and couldn't do another thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've done that before.
You live in California, though, huh?
Yeah.
That's where it's really expensive.
Well, not really. It's funny because people say, "Oh my God, it's super expensive." Blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, it levels out with what we earn. So it's like people in Florida, they earn 20% less than in California.
Okay.
So, and if you want to buy a car, you pay the same, but if you want to buy a home, then you're also paying like 30% more. So
Than the rest of the country?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I'm not real good with math, but
yeah, but you're making 30% more as well, right? So it kind of like it's
averages.
right. So it's like an American moving to Costa Rica to retire. Of course, it's like super cheap, right? But for the people in Costa Rica, those that are making money, working in that market, it's pretty expensive. So it's weird, how that goes.
I wish that I would have gone and been able to go. Maybe I could come stay with you and go to the Price is Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm in San Francisco, but we can always hang out in Los Angeles. That would not be a problem.
Since I was a little girl, my grandma used to watch The Price is Right. I always wanted to go to California because of that. And I never knew anything about it then, but then once I learned about it.
Mhm.
But Eternal Flame, I mean, Emerald Flame is from California too.
Yes.
So I got some peeps over there now.
Well, you can whenever you're in the city here in San Francisco, you'll have a place to stay. I promise.
Awesome. I really and truly, I would drive there. I would drive. My dream about being going to California is San Francisco. Actually, is to drive and go through the different places, like through Las Vegas and all the different towns to get there. Just like make a road trip out of it.
That's a wild trip. That
Yep.
is a wild trip. It's like Route 66 all the way to the mountains.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I'd be like a new cartoon.
Right?
'Cause I'd be having fun, me.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I went through South Dakota, and I did not realize it was like the seven wonders of the world, pretty much going through South Dakota in
Yeah.
one little stretch.
Yeah, it's like the Black Rock Forest. They call that black granite. And then I we went there. We camped one winter, like in the middle of the snow, and it was amazing, amazing, just mind blowing. But then there's like the Sturgis thing and like the bikers, and then Mount Rushmore, and so yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore and all the little gophers. It was, I couldn't believe how much we saw in such a short span of time.
Right, and you're right. It's like that little. I don't know. It's about 10 miles or something.
You know. I went to Sturgis.
Yeah.
I went in a Subaru, but
Hey,
next
you
time, baby.
belong here. What are you doing
I was thinking, man, that's a long ride on a motorbike.
here?
I'm glad it was that comfortable. Subaru is comfortable. I didn't even know how comfortable a Subaru was until then.
Yeah, it's a good friend of mine, well, a friend of my ex, she was telling us that there's a place in Montana called Bear Claw Passage or Bear Claw Pass, whatever. And you're riding your car or your motorcycle, and there's a point in the road where you don't see the road, but you can see the sky.
Wow.
The fog is like it's what he said was it's like the road is covered by this very dense but low hanging fog.
Huh.
It's like with milk, and it looks like you're riding on a cloud because it's so high that you can see the sky and it's so blue and everything. It's like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I've never been. I can imagine it. It's kind of like you know
You know
you're
what?
yeah, like dry eyes.
When you started explaining it, I thought you meant it was because it was on a very sharp hill. Like you were driving and then the road just went like down like a hill. That's what I thought you meant.
No, no, no. It's like this is at the very top of that hill.
It's the
That
fog.
mountain, yeah, it's like if you go up and at the very top of the mountain, it's like you see all the sky and all the clouds and everything, but you don't see the pavement, you don't see like the road below the clouds. It's pretty wild.
That's awesome.
Never been.
Well, I'm starting to get these new seeds planted, like actually meeting you and knowing that you're there
Uh,
makes an emerald flame. I say is actually more like a reality.
yeah, for sure. Anytime. So, I mean, it's like, but you're in Fort Myers, right?
I'm what?
Where are you in Fort Myers?
I'm in Wisconsin right now, Sheboygan.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still far, but not far.
It's far. I'm like almost on the other side of the country from you.
Well,
But
but it's
it's
like,
not.
uh,
Yeah, when you're on a road trip, it ain't. That's what America's for me. Road trip.
road trip, road trip. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I thought you were in like Fort Myers,
Where's Fort Myer? What state? Texas?
like in Florida.
Oh, no, no, no. But
Yeah.
Louisiana is where I'm from. But still, in all, I'm almost directly north of Louisiana, so it's still all the way to the left. Looking at the map, all the way west.
Yeah, my son, he's in Nolens. I mean, he went to school out there, and my daughter-in-law, she's in Kissimmee.
So he stayed in New Orleans.
Yeah, he's there.
You gotta meet me there then one time. Well, I know you got your mama, so until then, I'm gonna come see you.
They
Then you and mama pack up and come to New Orleans another time.
she would. I mean, she wanted to. When they got married, but at that time she was in Florida. But yeah, they're in Garden District. Well, they just moved to like the I think it's like the western part, no, the eastern part of Tapachula. Oh
Wait,
yeah.
you said the West Bank?
No, 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 no. Up in New Orleans, if you drive up Tapachula, it's like halfway through that road, and then into the neighborhood. It's they're like maybe I don't know, maybe like I would say like a mile or 2 miles north of Walmart in New Orleans. They just moved.
Did you say Chapatulas?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know exactly where you are.
So
We
it's
used to
like,
have an appliance business over there, so I got familiar with the streets and stuff.
oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
yeah, it's really diverse over there. And it's nicer than it has ever been in my life right now.
yeah, they're loving it. They think to say a lot of people left in '05, but then different people came to the city. So it's kind of like it's not the safest, but it's safer.
That's right.
You
And
know?
cleaner, it's cleaner, and they have a lot more variety than they used to have.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's
so
upgraded for sure.
yeah.
Have you been lately?
I last time I was there was in when they got married about 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, well you kind of got the good side of it. In the last 2 years, it's really improved, better than ever.
Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
yeah, 2 years ago, my daughter lived on Carrollton,
Okay. Yeah, no,
and yeah, and we really had a good time when she was over there. It's really nice now.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people complain about gentrifying neighborhoods and making things unaffordable, but it's difficult. It's like a slippery slope because I know it gets more expensive, but it makes it nice. I mean, um, my kids, both of them, right? My son and my daughter-in-law, they went to Tulane. Well, my son went to Loyola. My daughter-in-law went to Tulane, and they just graduated. I mean, he just graduated as an attorney, right? He just came out of law school.
Wow,
Up there in Tulane, and she just wrapped up her residency, so she's like, but he just graduated. Anyway,
awesome! I'll tell you a story about that later.
oh, cool.
Yeah,
They are so, but they are so ingrained in the city, right? They just don't want to leave, and
it's really nice when you really invested in it. It's
they,
in a good spot and all like they are. It's a lovely place to be.
and I tell you, with the first, so we started going when they were like maybe 10 years old, like go after, like in '05, '04, before the disaster, right? The storm.
Yeah.
So it's like we went '03, '04, spring of '05, right? And they had such a wonderful time, right? Just we went Mardi Gras, the whole thing, we loved it. And I guess my kids got so involved in it, but everything is, at least my son was to, I want to live here. And so he is. It's kind of,
They met in California or he met her down there?
no, they met in New Orleans.
Or they met in New Orleans while
Yeah.
in school?
Yes, because she's from St. Louis.
Okay.
So they met there and but she started at Loyola and then she went to Tulane
What made her change?
medicine.
Oh, I thought for some reason I thought she was an attorney.
No, he is.
Oh, from Tulane?
Right.
Right on. Okay. I got you now.
So they're like in the little hood, the surfing, and I'm like, shut up.
Is he your only child?
No, I have 5 kids.
I did not know that this whole time.
5 kids. My little one is in college. The other four happily graduated. Only one of them is.
That is wild. Why have I not known this before? I feel like we're doing your Saturday Night Live again. This is another to be continued.
And now you know. Yeah, but it was
Right. Since let me just mention this. What is October 22nd? If it's somewhere around there on a Saturday, what do you think? You want to join again?
sure. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
I've never and probably never will unless you do it again. Encounter pew pew cleaning. I learned so much. That's one of my all time favorite things ever that's ever happened.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
It was fun.
I was cleaning up my food. No,
You sent that one lady in shock. It was funny.
Don't hop on roofs and do bad stuff.
Well, you know, when my life fell apart, I had I had my login and everything applying for Tulane
Really?
for law school. Yep. I had the district attorney before the one that was active at that time and the district attorney before that were both sending letters of recommendation. They both had went to Tulane Law School.
And why didn't you? What happened?
Well, I got too big for my britches in a dynamic, and I got my ass in a crack in the spirit world. I did a case, and everything I touched, we won. It was insane, but it was a lot had to do with what I was dealing with in my life. So I was kind of self-representing, and people would come to me and say, "I have this going on and that going on," and I would recommend things to them. But this one lady came to me. And her son had passed away, and she wanted visitation because the girl wouldn't let her see the grandchild. And the paperwork that I wrote up, I was in a really shitty space internally, and I was projecting my own shit into the paperwork.
Okay.
In hindsight, I realized what I did, but
It helped.
the effect that it had was that the courts removed the child from the mother.
Oh my God.
And it got me in every direction. I mean, karmically speaking, like if I was looking at that situation like karma,
Wow.
it was bad. And I learned so much from that. It was like this one word just pivoted the whole paperwork. So instead of getting visitation, she got full custody. And it wasn't a good situation for that child to be in permanently. And a lot of bad shit went on. So it was bad. And it just really, I wanted to go be a judge, but I got my lesson about that in the spirit world with judgment, because I realized, and I remember when I was doing the paperwork that in hindsight, because I didn't realize how much I was traumatized and coming out like my shit was coming to a head to be dealt with, basically.
Yeah.
And I was it was bleeding over, and you can't do that. You have to be clear and have clarity to be a judge or to do that. So I got my lesson, but that doesn't mean I didn't learn my lesson and wouldn't do it differently if I went forward with it. But if I did, I would go to the University of Wisconsin up here. I've checked it out several times, but I just don't think that that's what they would call in my cards anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, having, well, anyway, doesn't matter what you think. Uh, yeah, it's fun. I had the opportunity to become a chef, and I said no.
You love it though. You love cooking.
I do. I
That's
do.
epic. I do too. You know what I watched the other day? Spanglish. You ever seen Spanglish?
Yes, I love that movie.
Me
Oh
too.
my God.
Perfecto.
I'm sorry, I have to say it this way because I don't think a lot of people understand what happens, but when he is slicing that sandwich and that yolk is running, that to me was, I almost had an orgasm. Because
It was
that's
really a good
sensual.
looking sandwich. The way he poured the beer and then took, oh
Oh,
yeah, for real. It was a night to remember.
yeah, it's like sex with food, you know? Jesus. What?
I didn't. I think it definitely. I respect the effect on you more than that. I've seen things in other ways, but I
No,
totally was like, I definitely want to eat that sandwich and drink that beer.
no, but what I'm telling you, look at it from that perspective because it's from a culinary point of view. It's like,
Yeah, and it all came to a head in that moment too.
yeah, it's super sensual, and it's like, this guy is vested in. It's like pouring his heart and his soul into his food because he's just, portraying the wife hates him. Well, like she doesn't hate her, but she's like,
She's very confused.
yeah, I didn't like that character. Yeah, I love her. I think she's a great actress. I really enjoy her vibe.
For sure.
But that movie, I mean, I'm like, this what? No.
Yeah. It just that was so. I know this is gonna be. I'm so transparent. I swear, but I could relate to that side of insecurity so
Mhm.
much and control freak. That was me before my life fell apart. Now I'm the other side of it. I was like, I think that's why I resonated with that movie so much because her uptightness and just being that type of way was so irritable and what I had in my spirit. And then the other side that was just me, like if I would have just been able to been raised normal, was like the other lady. So it's just such a good movie. I love that movie.
I love it. I love it too. It's so nice.
I'm glad somebody else. I hardly ever hear anybody that's actually seen it.
Really?
Yeah, and you're just that you've seen it and love it. But if there is anybody, they do love it.
I mean, to me, it's a classic, right? I mean, it's such a good movie,
Yeah,
and
it's one of his
and
best to me.
yeah, and I think the fact that it's set in Malibu and it gives this perception that here money is not an issue. This is not a matter of poverty. This is not a matter of lack of resources or access to those resources. This is not about privilege. None of that. None of that. This is like these people are messed up,
Yeah.
you know. So in a lot of us, at least me personally, I I relate to the side of the story that's in Adam Sandler's character a lot. Because my ex was kind of like the wife.
Oh, uptight. Yeah.
It was just terrible. Narcissist,
Yeah.
narcissist.
Yeah, just like no feeling, like only uptight. That's just the best word I could use for it.
It's just
Yeah.
it was bad. But anyway, um, so yeah, it's fascinating. I love that. I love that. But yeah, next time you see it, just see it from that perspective, and you'll get a different, you know, it's like, oh my god, there's so many innuendos, but it's like they're all with food. I'm like,
I just invited Monkey Boy up here. He
okay.
asked why. He said, "Why the whips and chains?" I'm just cracking up because this is an experiment. And I was on a live the other day, and I got blocked by one of the people. Well, it's crazy how somebody will tell me that you've been blocked. Well, why you unblock me? You block me, but you unblock me. Like, that's crazy. Just keep me blocked if you block me. And and so the host ended up, she blocked me right after what was said, and of course a couple of people reached out to me, which was really sweet and kind, but I what they cut me off. They wouldn't let me finish saying what I was saying. So this was the picture that I added to my post in relation to that, because that's how it was. I was like the superhero in my life, like getting through it all and just really doing the thing. And they would just try, I say they, the entities working through human beings, would try to cut me off and not let me speak. And it really messed with my throat chakra, and it really caused my nervous system to go in disarray, because when I was held captive, I couldn't, there was, in my mind, I could like dream about who I could get to help me, but the system failed me too. That's why I told you I felt like that karma. I brought some of that shit on myself, And so that's why the picture. But when I get to this point, and I think I remember how to change it, I don't even remember how to change it. I'm new. Oh wait, there it is.
So I think you go into a little camera. I think there you go. You just change.
I'm getting there. I told myself I'm practicing this before I go back to my to October, because then I can, which I'm probably going to do it the way I've been doing it. But if I want to put a picture up, I know how now.
Right. But yeah, it's so you were saying something at the beginning when we started talking about the root of all evil, and I just had a conversation in a recognition of, I think with so I find that there are things we have not resolved since the time we became us. It's like we've kicked a can down the road for over almost 200 years, and it's still not resolved. So it's like there's this, I think the word is egregore,
Yeah.
and it's just there, and it cannot be resolved because it's there, you know?
The egregores. You know
So
what really gets me about it though is that each human being that has the opportunity to make that change, they just keep wanting to show out instead of going within. They want to be like, "Oh, I know this or I know that or whatever." And when I got to the point of purification in my heart, because I'll be telling y'all some shit, because I have done everything that I tell y'all that somebody has done to me. If I didn't do something equally as shitty, I would not have the balance I have, because I would really feel like I'm an egotistical superiority type of, they really did this to me type victim. And I was victimized as a child, okay? But what I did as a result that victimized and turned out my ugly, that's what caused my humility.
right,
So,
yeah, exactly. So,
yeah. And that made the difference in why I can say what I'm saying. And I now all of that said, I forgot what I was saying. We was talking about the egregores. Oh, and people coming up with their individual thought process. Oh, it was about the heart. That's what it was. So whenever I had to unpack all that from my heart, because as a child only sees through their heart. Their ability to reflect and consciously think about what happened doesn't come along until way later.
Yes.
And so that's really the subconscious to me is in the heart. And I had to purify that. And so when I started uprooting what was in there, when I was little and my daddy was beating my mama and all this other stuff was happening to me and those other kind of ways and all the different people that were so nasty and blah, blah, blah. When I was consciously thinking about how that affected me in my subconscious, there's three layers in there. So there was the underneath that don't get talked about, the deepest part, which to me is the mind. Okay, when I say the Bible, it talks about repentance and be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's that center part to me, which I call the Ark of the Covenant. That's the subconscious, the original child, you, whoever it is from the spark of creation. Then there's another layer, which I say is like the residing of the void in the void area. And that's like the biggest area surrounding this. That's like the white of the egg. Like the yolk is the yellow, but the white is this part, okay? And then the other part was the yolk. But this conscious mind, that's like the salt and pepper on the egg. That's like all the people, and then this awareness that has a thought process that says you're a piece of shit, you're a good person, you're this, but your heart is filtering these thoughts to say that, based on what you felt and what you went through. That's how I interpreted it. That's how I was able to come out of it. But I didn't want to think of anybody as a bad person or a horrible person. But when I came to realize that they're carrying demons, that they're carrying all of these thought processes and things that they went through and perspectives that they don't want to change because they're trapped in there somewhere, and it feels weird, it hurts, and they don't want to make it different because it's a lot of work. That's how you know. So they get stuck in these levels where they say, "Oh, I've read all of this, I've done all of this, and here's where I stand." But really and truly underneath it, they're like mean to animals and shit, I'm speaking from experience.
Okay. I mean, of course, everyone will say, "Oh, yeah, poor me, I'm the victim," or it's like I have to hang on to things that will make me perceive myself as kind of like the better person, the good person, the person with the moral high ground. I think it's it's trying to pursue, or people pursue certain ideas that, hold on, I don't know any of these things here. So there are certain people that hold on to ideas that, um, I'll say it this way, ideas, people, ideas, the entity, the thing that stops is the idea itself, not the person that's actually carrying out or living the idea itself, right? So it's like, I don't know, whatever, racism, right? It's an idea, but some people subscribe to it, believing that it is the truth, but it's an idea, right?
Yeah.
And they just hang on to that idea because it defines them, right? Well, when I was a kid, someone that was not like me hurt me. And then my dad hurt me because they said that no one was better than me. And that's what, now listen to what you're saying, right? It's like that trauma that then it absorbs, or the idea becomes the trauma, right? Not the trauma itself, but the idea that you are better than someone else, or um, um, it's like, oh my god, I have like a thousand thoughts right now.
I know how it is.
It's So if you teach a child that hating someone is a way of showing love, that child will grow up believing that loving people is actually being violent or being disrespectful or hating
I'm listening, but I'm having a real hard time hearing you.
Yeah, it's fine. Have I ever
Are
passed
you?
gas and it rolled up through the front lip? Absolutely. Oh my god.
I said sure. I cannot
Oh
believe I
my
said
god.
sure.
Holy.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time. Like you're coming through almost scratchy, and I've been having my ear up to the phone. Like I've been
Yeah,
holding it really
I don't
high.
know. I am here. There's nothing. I'm not using a charger or
That sounds. I don't know what is different,
sounds
but
better.
I heard you say something. I'm gonna rewind this on the thing and listen to what you said so I can come back and fully hear what you just said because I
I'll
was
say
meaning
I'll
it.
say yeah, so I'll say it quickly. It's kinda
Okay.
like um, a lot of people hang on to ideas because those ideas are associated to childhood trauma, right? Or some type of trauma that makes them change the harm of the event with this idea. So for example, and then that's why I brought up racism, right? So it's like as a child or domestic violence or whatever, right? DV or you name it. It's like teaching a child, right, that love is violence, or that love is hating, or that love is you have to be tough. This is tough love, and what the parent is doing is just harming the child, but the child is being taught people that hurt you love you. People that hurt you envy you. People that hurt you like you. People that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what you just said, it really, I did not know how to describe it the way you exactly just said it, but that is how I was raised.
You know
I
what I
was
mean?
raised just like you just said. Like they had to be tough on me. They had to make, and I was sensitive. I still am. And it really messed me up because then the other part I was getting from people around me was essay. And that was really showing me that that was love because that felt good to my little tiny body. And then the people that I had it from my heart space and my knowing that should love me were giving me all this beat each other up and then this tough love. It was that twisted, and everything that I just said is like it in a nutshell.
Right. So now you turn 25, right? How do you demonstrate love?
By 25, I had given birth 3 times.
But how did you show love? How
How did
did
I?
you
How did I
demonstrate?
show it?
Yeah, how did you demonstrate love? How did you teach your kids what love was?
Well, I'll tell you what I did because now, like you've heard some stories and that's kind of in a nutshell, okay? But I really, really, really was heavily involved in the church. I always was. And so I would take my children to parks, I would take them to church, I would take them to events, I would find everything free that there was to do and I would take them to go do that. I kept them a structure. We ate together. I read to them because in my mind's eye of what I gleaned from community and seeing other people and people I went to school with, I would say, okay, that's probably how it's supposed to be. That's probably how it's supposed to be.
Right.
But about every 9 months, I would start to drink because I would go through that cycle of for some reason, my cycle was about every 9 months. I would hit a low in depression and I couldn't help myself. I would drink. And when I did that, I got lonely. And then I wanted to be with somebody. And then I perpetuated that cycle because once I got involved in a relationship with them, they would ask me questions about my past. I would tell the truth about my childhood. They would judge me. They would start to talk to people in the community and they would discuss me. and everybody decided that I should be treated like a witch. And they did that, and then there I was back to square one with a new baby, pretty much.
You see, that is also a form of violence.
Yep. I called it fucking and fighting. When I finally got to this thing where they ask questions about what did you see from your parents, and I had I forget, one day I'll remember it, and I'll say, this is what I was telling you that night, what it's called, this little test that they give you in some kind of psychotherapy. But it basically narrows down what your cycles that you saw with your family, your parents, and mine was they was fucking or fighting, and that's what I kept perpetuating.
So I remember that 9 month cycle. I think they call it mood disorder, right? But yeah, it's just a cycle. Mine used to be because I finally broke away from it, but mine was almost 6 months, and it would flip. So it would be 6 months of you name it, and then 6 months of don't even touch me, don't look at me, don't talk to me. I mean, leave me alone. But in my case, particularly, um, I learned that abandonment was a form of love because my parents needed to work so that they could take care of me, so they would be away from me, so that I could, enjoy all these wonderful things, right? But the reality is there was a significant amount of neglect. There were no parks, there were no sleepovers, there were no parties or nothing. It was just, you know, we were raised by, we were brought up by our nanny, pretty much.
Yeah,
And
that's
when,
abandonment.
yeah, when my kids were at that point, I did the same thing. I said, you know what? To keep this status, to keep this BS going on, we have to work, and we have to work a lot. So be grateful that you've got all this stuff, and that you can whatever, you can go to a club, and you can go to play tennis, and you can go to a pool, and you can do this, and you can do that, and blah, blah. But they never went because there was no one to take them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And to me, that was, well, I love them because I'm working
same.
like crazy, 14 hours, 12 hours. And then the excuse is, well, but all of this is so, it costs money being in this place, going to these schools and whatever. Um, we're sending you guys to schools. And it's a distortion because that is not love. It's like, well, I have to make sure that my kids have the best opportunities. Those are not the best opportunities.
I realized that too, with what you said about, I was deflecting, I guess that's the word, because I couldn't be in the dynamic with my children one on one. I always said I had to work, had to work, had to work, had to work, because I was overwhelmed and I felt unworthy of my children. I felt like they deserved better than what I felt on the inside, even though I couldn't consciously say that. So, as you said, in your situation, I would work, 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 so that they would. I felt like they would be with somebody else, school or another person that was going to put them in a better position than me. And of course, in hindsight, I learned that that wasn't true, but that was the capacity I had to give during that time.
Yeah, that's it. And, um, 30 years of therapy just taught me that, I mean, you can run, but you cannot hide. I mean,
True that.
you have to face your demons. At some point in time, you have to face them. And facing demons doesn't mean, you know, um, I guess, rolling over them. It's not about getting hurt again. It's not about, but it's about recognizing that it's not, at least in my case, that it was not my fault to to have the childhood that I had, and to have been exposed to the things I was exposed to when I was a teenager, and to be harmed by people that you trust, right? Like police officers. So it's it's like it's not my fault. So why do I assume that it is my fault, that I am unworthy, that I was not clean, that I was, wearing the wrong clothes, whatever. So it's like you learn to hate yourself. I guess that's what it boils down to. I learned, it's not that I was taught, I learned to hate myself. I think the key
Yeah.
word is what you said, not worthy. I think that's it. It's not worthy.
The inability to get out of a situation. It
Mhm.
was like my mind, my heart, my whole thing could not get away from what was happening to my body, and I was in my body trapped in the dynamic. So not only was I a prisoner of what was going on outside of myself because it was happening to me, I couldn't leave my home. I couldn't then they were doing things to my body, and then I couldn't leave my body. And inside my body I turned against myself. And as you said, I learned to hate myself. I learned to, it was a powerful energy to despise myself, that I could intellectualize and ambition myself into a position that made me appear as though I was successful on the outside, but I was running as far away from myself on the inside as I could get. And that shit caught up with me 8 years ago, and them demons was screaming for
Mhm.
fix this situation.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Well,
That is it. You know what, Tina? I love you. You're so cool. You're so extremely cool.
I love you so incredibly much.
Well, I know you don't need the validation, but you do get that you're cool, right?
You said, I know you don't read the what?
I know you don't um, thrive on the validation, right? Because you
Oh, I
stand on
got
your
you.
own two legs, but you do know that you are super cool, right?
I love you for that. I really do, because I have been seeking and searching from all of what I went through. That's how I knew the people that were my people. Because if I felt seen and heard and accepted and not judged, that's how I knew. And I learned something, by far. I have a handful. I'll say emerald tablet. I keep saying the wrong. Emerald flame, my friend Emerald Flame. She is another one. You two are definitely my personal on my team peeps that truly see me, and there are no words for the appreciation that I have for y'all for that. I really respect and admire y'all and appreciate y'all so much.
Super cool. I really enjoy
Thank you.
listening to your vibe, your worldview. It's just fascinating to me. I really enjoy myself hearing you.
Well, every time I was going through anything and I was like stuck there, I reached out to do it the worst I could do in that dynamic, because I said, well, if I'm this far down, I'm gonna just get some more experimental, energy to come back and say, see, this is how you overcome this. See, this is how you overcome this. Because I knew I was here to help others since I was a little girl. I knew that. And I didn't know how it was going to manifest, because how could I help others when others repelled me? Like, there's so many people that rejected me in my life, my whole life. And I learned that was because of my energy. And I knew that people would judge it and they didn't know how to deal with it, but that caused me to have to go into a deeper level of forgiveness for them. So when I got to the point where my heart locked down because I didn't want to forgive anymore, I was just over that shit and I'd rather just annihilate. That's when it got personal for me to bring all of my knowledge, all of my learning, all of my self-love, all of the things that I knew I was created for, to come together, which is what when I talk about the heart brain coherence. And that helped me to accept, because I could tell you all the bad about myself, and I would. That's just part of how I do it. But I knew for a fact that I was in those positions because I was victimized. And that's what kept me going. But then I put myself in situations where I was the one that needed forgiveness. I had to have grace. And I knew that because if people that I'm attempting to help learn that they have to learn, there's sometimes no answer, there's sometimes no reasoning, it's just stuff that happens, that they have to find a way to love themselves. They have to find a way to just call it, go into the neutral, go into the 0 point, and accept themselves without thought. Just get up under that feeling and allow that feeling is tormenting and is horrible, and releasing the thought. But the step up to that, for me, what I learned is putting a good thought with it. So one of the things that I said to myself, besides God is love, God is love, God is love, is I am worthy. And in the beginning, when I started to say I am worthy, I got just like I felt the parasites inside of me just wiggling like, ooh, you think you're worthy? Oh, what are you talking about, worthy? Ooh. Just thinking I was worthy was irritable. I had to consciously keep affirming to myself that I am worthy. I am worthy. And I'm about 50% or maybe going into 60% now, accepting and don't get that irritable feeling of it. But I could know it in my mind and in my head space, that what we were talking about a while ago, the salt and pepper area. But it had to get through the white of the egg and down to the yolk. But the yolk was trying to push it up, to get out to the whole scramble. so so that's where it's kind of getting to now. So I hope y'all like scrambled eggs.
Yes. It's, to me, it's so fascinating to see people's experiences that are similar to mine and how they overcame or were working through it in ways that I never thought could be done. But it's like so it's to me, in my case, I had to write every day. I forgive myself, and I did that maybe 2 years, like every day, write on a piece of paper and a little journal. I forgive myself 100 times.
No, that does definitely. That's what psychotherapy tells you to do, is write, to journal. But 3 years, I feel that it was deeply in you having to come out for sure.
Well, and you're right, because a lot of people will say, you know what, I don't want to deal with you, it's weird, or I don't want to deal with you, you're probably not, I don't want to deal with you, you're always, you're unpredictable. Here's my thing, like, you're unpredictable. You don't know what triggers you. And all of a sudden I find myself isolated because, quote unquote, I need to be put in a closet so that other people are comfortable. But what about, I mean, do I need to hide myself, like lock my thoughts, like not talk to anyone because I make them uncomfortable? What?
Damn,
So,
yeah.
so it's like you need to learn to conform if you want to interact with people, right? So it's that thing of, yeah, everything is fine. No, there's no problem. It's fine. It's okay for sure. Yeah, no, whenever. And like you were saying, on the outside, people think, oh my God, this family is so successful. This person, it's like a fucking genius or whatever. And in the inside, I don't want to call it a dumpster fire, but there was a raging fire. You know? It's like I want to bring all of you people because all you people suck. It's just so hard. But then all of a sudden, it was never hard. It is finding peace means overcoming those concerns, the things that trigger you. I don't know how to explain that. But yeah, it's like
Because they keep coming. It's like one hit after the next will remind you, and you like, it's like running on a barrel. You know how they had them old timers? They would play like a game and they would run on a barrel in the water
yep.
and try to do that like that. Like that's the cycles, and like you could stop for a minute, but you look around and something is sitting. I was like, just I will reap when I do not tire out. That's what I kept telling myself. I will reap when I do not tire out. But that's what created the balance. And I know you went through this too because you're balanced. But you get those when you get it, it just starts coming at you, the triggers. Then you do your journaling, you do your writing, you do all your little self care things, and then next season you find yourself, oh, I really unpacked a whole bunch of stuff. Now I can fill in this little area with something new, like going to take a walk instead of crying and gnashing in the bed. Like actually getting up and getting out of the house for
Yeah,
once until this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like you're saying, I mean, instead of having, I don't know, three, four, five, six, seven shots of gin or whatever, depends on a bottle of wine. You're just taking a walk,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
Literally. So
That's so true. Oh my goodness. Well, where do you feel like you stand now with your healing journey?
you know, I've been doing a lot of soul search because um, I I think that I have in the past I lied to myself so much, so hard for so long. Kind of like saying, you know what, it doesn't matter. It's just your idea. No, you can deal with it. So come on. So I think that the process they call it masking. So you start putting like it's it's like you start behaving around the things that cause pain. So you learn to accept those things, and then you're numb. Those things you think don't affect you, but all of a sudden they're like destroying your soul. Right now, I think that I have the tools that um, see when I'm losing my balance, when I'm falling, when I'm getting triggered, and it's just a matter of doing some little practice. So sometimes I will disappear from social media. I've done it twice already. I just disappear. I go away. Why? Because it's impacting me in a way that I don't want it to be affected. Right. Um, I'm starting to get the same feeling right now with this whole Charlie Kirk thing because I'm starting to recognize how people actually are,
Mm.
not how they claim, or not who they claim to be, but their actions. So it's like, I mean, we were having such a wonderful conversation 5 days ago, and now all of a sudden, we're gonna be just because some guy that neither you or I met is on a line.
Yeah.
What? What?
Yeah.
So So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to talk to you right now because anything I say will trigger you, and you'll come back with something that is bad, and at that point, I am going to become belligerent, and I am going to become toxic, and I am going to really chew your head off. So I now know that I'm getting triggered. So what I'll do is I don't want to interact with you for a while, and I'll see you later when this whole thing goes away. So that's a silly example, but like I said, it's like saying, you know what, I'm gonna go for a walk and I'm gonna take, I don't know, 10 minutes. I'm gonna take a time out for 10 minutes. Before I would just sit in front of whatever was happening and that my mind would go and process that thing one, 10, 100, 1,000 times and I would just be consumed by that anger. Um, Not anymore. So, so yeah, I think I'm in a better position. I still have a long way to go, but I think I'm in a better position for sure.
You
At
sound like
least
you are.
I learned, at least I am able to. So at this point, I can say it's not my fault. It was not my fault.
That's right.
That's it. That's where I'm
Yeah, you have gotten there, everybody's energy out and voices out and off of you, and have reclaimed your energy and separated yourself from what was inputted into you that wasn't yours.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of
I
trash
feel it.
in there, right? But yeah,
Like these dogs. These dogs are still going. You know, I had hell with these dogs. I swear I'm that person, you hear me? I am not an inside dog person. And they are something else. And when I tell you I get this overwhelming thing, like you said, I actually thought about that today, this morning. I said, I understand why people snap. I totally understand why people snap. Listen to this. We got a female dog that is in her season right now, and a almost 2 year old male dog that's not clipped in the same house.
um, yeah, I'm a dog person. I'm good.
You're having hell. You hear me?
And yeah, no, I'm a dog person. That's not good. That's
We
not good.
got her in one room. We listen to this shit. She ain't. We gotta keep him in the kennel because when
Yes.
he gets out, he's trying to hump everything.
Yep.
He smells her, and it's been like that. And so now, I'm really diving into how I'm explaining the mark of the beast, the sacral chakra blockage and root area, because there's a lot to describe about this. But I think I'm going to get brave enough to open up and put this all into illustration. In fact, I told somebody on another live earlier that they were shutting it down, and I really wanted to talk about it. I really did. So I know it's going to happen. Maybe you'll I feel safe talking to you about it with you, okay? But maybe during our time, I'll have it put together a little more and talk about it,
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
because it's really it is a nightmare to see that dog is like I'm like, I said, I swear, old Yeller, get the hell out of here, you old what your hell where the red fern grows. I'm done. It's been bad. It's been bad. And she is like, she got her head down because for the last year, she been grooming him, okay? I would have to get her to stop, like mock doing it. I'm like, stop it. And so now he's like, wait, I learned everything. Now I know everything, and now it's time to happen, and it ain't happening. It's crazy. So he's in there with Trinity in the room, and she's out here with me, and I don't know how long this season goes, honestly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm not a dog person, but I mean I love them because they're my daughter's dogs. I get it. I get why people do it, but I'm just not the type of person that wants to get up and take them out, and I do it because I got to, but it's not my thing.
Right. No, and that's fair. I mean, my well, anyway, I don't want to talk about my Smokey, but yeah. So the thing is, that dog is
He's what?
in pain.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
He is suffering. That is called passion. When people suffer, right? Like the way that dog is suffering, that's passion.
How do you mean?
Well, so passion is the ability to suffer for something,
And
right?
so when you say what is it suffering for? What do you mean by that?
Not being able to connect his physique, his not being able to fulfill the cycle of what as a male animal, he's been designed to do, right? So it's a fascinating system. Um, when so dogs use their sense of smell as yet another way of seeing the world. You can see the world through odors, through smell, right? Dogs.
Yeah. Extreme too. Hypersensitive.
Yeah. The female dog right now, she is like she has her, you know, her season. I think it's right. She said that's funny. Um, and that dog can smell just her pheromones,
Yeah.
but also her progesterone. You know,
Yeah.
so for him, I mean, he can actually smell. It's like a drug. It's
Yeah,
like
he's going nuts.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, literally, that's what I'm telling you. That can drive something crazy. It's 11:11. Like
So
that
you,
can really drive something, someone. I don't know the dog. I mean, I would imagine it's with dogs too, but make them go nuts.
but it's like you said, like you talked about the number of the beast, right? So what makes us connect to our animal most, primal instincts is sex,
Yeah,
and it's violent, and people will do whatever it takes to survive, and having kids, creating is a way of surviving. I mean,
that's
lying.
how I felt, Mara.
What's that?
That's how all of that would happen to me. And at the end, and like when I told you I would reach out and it would be a dude, that point, I felt animalistic. I felt dehumanized. I felt like an animal. The mark. I felt like I had the mark of the beast. That I was living straight from that primal instinct instead of being seen for who I am.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's spot on, right? And so it is. I'm just trying to find words and I can't. But no, well, I'm trying to make it simpler because I'm getting a little too verbose, right? But I mean, verbosity is high. So here's the thing. So lions, right, will fight each other not over food. Lions fight each other. Lions are male, right? They fight each other not over food, but over females. Lionesses fight each other for food.
Mm.
It is that crazy. So it's kind of like lionesses will actually set up. Um, I forget the name of the event, but they set up like this encounter between young lions and older lions because the lioness wants the best possible outcome.
Mate. Yeah.
And usually a young lion is better than an older one. So they will promote this violence, and then the lions will, fight. And one of them will win, and the one that loses just leaves the pride. And then the winner, well, has has a day with 7 lions, whatever, 8. You know, it's really powerful. It is really powerful. And if you notice, most of our, I would say, I don't want to use that term, but most of our suffering is our passion is associated to that. right?
Yeah. And that's what I learned about that part. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna use some wordage. The clitoris
Yeah.
connects to the to me in my, I'll say, empirical study, the center part of the heart. And the reason I say that is because that part, when stimulated and when contracting, it pulls the semen in.
Mhm.
Um, that is the primal instinct of a woman to want to conceive,
Yeah.
and that is the deepest love in the center part of the heart. So I totally get that on that level, and I know that was that part, and we was talking about something.
No, no, no. I mean, yeah, you're right. So the specifically about what you just said, that love is not for the male. That love is for self.
Hmm.
The ability to procreate, right? To conceive is self love. The male, the male lion has no part in it. The lion is being used. So are you attracted to, have you ever been attracted to an ugly guy?
Uh,
No, right? No, the answer is
uh,
no.
okay. That's not okay. Hang on. In my defense, there was times when I really was looking past, when I was in different mode. I don't know what modality means, but I feel like that's the word. And when I was in different modes of myself, that I was looking at a situation, as a dude, looking at a situation, aka a dude. That's terrible. I was looking at a dynamic, okay, that because I wanted it to not be shallow. I wanted to, just because of the way I looked, I wanted to not be like that because I had dealt with so many guys that looked so good, that just were shitty to me. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to branch out. And it didn't matter because then those guys were insecure.
It's just
Like,
this
what
bad.
the fuck?
Yeah,
What the
exactly.
fuck? Yeah.
Right. So there's no way of winning, right, from that perspective. But the reality is it's manipulative, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing. So so the glitter is connected to the area of the body that has the highest concentration of neurons.
Oh, wow. That's the center of the heart.
You know, there are there are as many neurons around your belly, right, in that area, as there are neurons in your cerebellum.
As there are in your what?
Yeah, on your cerebellum, like on
What's a
your,
cerebellum? That's the brain?
yeah, the little brain, like the backside,
Yeah.
which is like super concentrated, or a group of like neurons. There are as many neurons right behind your clitoris. It's just not one
Damn.
ball. It's not one giant ball of neurons. They're just spread all over the place. So oh my gosh, I'm getting the butterflies. And then you
This
get
is
that
intense.
tingling there, right? It's happening when you're afraid, right? You're you have all of a sudden bowel movement, and you cannot, you can't control your sphincters. You have to like hold your pee, and sometimes you're so afraid that you pee yourself.
Yeah.
All that stuff is happening in those neurons.
Wowza.
So that portion of the body, the pelvic plexus, is where all the nerves that tie up your reproductive organs and your digestive system, they meet. So the sixth sense is actually rooted there.
Wow.
That intuition.
Well, that's why I say my instinct, that I always followed my instinct. Because intuition to me, that's a little bit more additive of thinking. But
Right. This is essential, right? Sixth,
yeah,
right. Sixth sense is instinct, not intuition. Yes, you're right.
it's a instinct.
Right. You know, when you're in danger, that's, oh my God, something bad's going to happen. It's not that you're thinking about it, all of a sudden you have to do that. Where did it come from? That's instinct.
Yeah.
So connecting with someone at that level that they can actually connect and um, interact with that side of your body, that aspect of your body, that is super powerful.
I had no idea going through it what kind of a big deal that actually was until I had to heal from that shit. And then it was like, yeah, what a sacred energy. But that's what, that's what saved me, is thinking that because I would go hard on myself, like what the hell. But I would go back to, I was introduced to that at like 3 years old. So that's the trick inside of oneself when that trauma has happened at such a young age and throughout my entire young life, coupled with the violence that was in my household and the abandonment and neglect.
Yep.
I was really lost inside of myself, attempting to stay in touch with myself and not completely lose myself from disattachment from the existence. But it 8 years ago, when it all came up to be put together, that's when it really got. That's when the intellect had to come in and the knowledge to help me sort it all out. But the instinct and the intuition and the physiological portion of self that had to put it all together, which I mean, I'm 3/4 of the way on the other side, or a little more, of the integration of all of this to actually say I'm a healed and whole person versus dysregulated and disassociated and multi-personality and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and people don't. So something that I have personally a gripe. Well, it's not a peeve. It's something that I find very damaging. Is that we are taught to be ashamed of our body. We are taught to be ashamed of who we are as humans, as beings, and and that causes a lot of that. Not it's not so much the insecurity, but it's our ability to fall easily prey of people that actually, you know, these predators that are looking for insecure, you know, insecurities in people so that they can exploit themselves. So it's like, no, you don't. No, come on. You know what? You're amazing. You are, the bee's knees. Get in bed. Yeah, you suck. Absolutely. It is that, and you're craving that validation of someone saying, you're worthy, like you were saying, right? But it's through something that's me. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, it ain't worth the sting that comes after that. That's for sure.
Yeah, totally. Anyway,
Yeah, it was a lot to undo. Let's put it that way.
it's a long journey. I'm
Yeah.
super proud of you. And I find a lot of inspiration in like you and people
It's scratching up, Maura.
like
Listening.
what I'm saying is,
There, that's so much better.
yeah, that I find a lot of inspiration, right? In people like you and Jenny Lane that have had this, I think we share a similar perspective. It's not, a yellow brick road, surrounded by roses. It's just like very, you know, sharp rocks that have been painted yellow, and they're just the thorns, and it's like being able to walk through that and then come at the other end better, right? Or being in that process. I don't know. I find it fascinating. I think,
It's a miracle.
you guys are awesome.
It is a miracle because there are times when I was talking about that grace spot, the grace, Grace, grace
Uh-huh.
spot, which could be the gray area, the void, and that is the place where the pivot takes place, because the conscious mind outside of that feeling and knowing in there has to reach into that gray area and just make a decision and say, I am choosing to let this go. I am choosing to forgive it. I am accepting that this is the best I could do. I'm accepting that there was no other alternative to get out except through it, various reasonings. And when there's no rhyme or reason for it, accepting it as that, just that. So that's grace to me. That's what I learned.
Yep. No, it is. It's, Tina, I want to stay here for another 2 hours, but I do have to make some dinner for my mom and
Yes,
myself, and then
you.
after that,
Well,
everybody can bed.
I
Um,
love you, and this was just a little experiment with the screen, and I just got so lucky to have you here tonight. So I'm blessed, and I'm excited, and I'll look at the calendar because I'm starting a book now, and
yeah, October
see what
22nd.
you got in mid-October.
Yeah, so it sounds great.
All right, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Love
I
you
love
too.
you. Have a great night.
Tina, you too. Talk to you.
Talk soon.
Yeah, we got it.
Bye. What's
Hi,
up?
hi, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm good.
All right, I'm a roast. Base me. I'm
I'm
listening.
yeah,
What's been
I'll
going
be like,
on?
I'm a chicken on a spit. Turn me over. What? Right.
Yes,
Hey,
indeed.
yes,
I was
ma'am.
experimenting with the screen and it's turned into something great. So I'm loving it.
Cool. I really like that. I love that. Follow your dreams. We are a tree growing
With the little heart.
with the heart. Yes, I love that.
I'm gonna make some popcorn.
I just
Actively,
I
actively
had
making popcorn.
I drank 2 big glasses of green juice today.
Ooh, nice.
And,
I'm a little
that's about
jelly.
it. Yeah, it was good.
Good deal.
It was good nutrition. And I was just listening to some hand pan hang drum music.
Ooh, I like the hand pans.
Yeah, it was
Do you
good.
listen to that Wolf guy?
This was a Martin Malte.
Okay, I don't know, but whenever I see him again, I'll send him to you too. He's the one I found him with, and I've heard other people too, but you'll like him too. I'll send him to you when I see him again.
Yeah, I was just praying with my friend. That sounds good. Popcorn.
I'm doing it. I'm going for it.
I have a little bag out there. I might nosh.
Yeah, this is the little mini bags.
I
All
love
right,
those.
I got a Skynet Capital coming in. I'm a risk taker.
You're
Hello,
Boy, mateys.
how are you?
Good. How you
Skynet
guys doing?
Capital.
Good. We must have met before because I have you as a friend.
Yes, we met in the stream of a person that streams on TikTok. Um, maybe Codeologist, maybe my stream, somebody's
Ooh,
stream.
I love Code. That's my.
Okay,
I
there you go.
love Code so
We
much.
got a winner.
Yeah, he
Oh,
is.
love
I
codes are
love hearing his
good.
voice. Do you like Code, Kimberly? Do you know him?
I'm not sure.
All right, I'll
Love
send
codes.
you a
I think
link.
is it black in the background and it's in
Purple?
um bright colors and it
Yes.
says love codes. Yes, I know.
No,
Yes.
Oh,
no,
oh.
no.
No, is it
No,
different?
he's a codologist. He that's what it's on there. I think it says codology.
Hmm.
He is he's created a beta testing for an algorithm. He's been working on it for quite a few years. And he gets on there and runs the numbers sometimes at night. But I'll send you a link to him too,
Like
so
healing
you can log
codes?
on.
Healing code numbers?
Yeah, he's running the number where you can see it like it looks like a graph chart thing, like bouncing.
Right.
Yeah, almost like the Matrix stuff in the background, but it's usually purple.
Cool.
Yeah, you'll like him though. He's a real. I love his voice.
No,
Me too. No
I
Diddy.
love frequencies and healing code numbers.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Hmm.
Cool beans.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you stopped by. I love Skynet. That it looks pretty. Your sign looks pretty.
Somebody told me it looks like the sign for a talk show.
It
I think it was
does.
this. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'll take it. Why not?
I like it.
It reminds people of Terminator, because they had that whole thing with the Skynet and whatnot, the
Okay.
robots. Yeah,
Yeah, robots are the thing of the future, huh?
damn robots, damn
I said
clankers.
that's where the stock is. That's why I got to get with Code and tell him. I already told him. Robot
That's
stock.
true.
What's that? Yeah.
No, you're right. AI robot. I'll tell you one that's really explosive. It's an industry nobody knows about yet. Uh, it's the business of CPUs powered by brain organoids, basically human brain tissue that power processors.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
will you please send me that in my messenger,
sure.
and
Yeah,
I'll let my
absolutely.
mother know. My mom and my son are real into stock, so I'll let them.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm just a beta
Absolutely.
tester, crash dummy with. I'm on that level.
You know, I say screw it. I mean, like sometimes it's good to be a guinea pig. You
Yeah,
know.
I trust him so completely, and I'm just really excited to be a part of it, and I'm proud of him.
Yeah, yeah. Look, as long as you're not putting too much capital into that account,
Yeah,
then you're okay. Worst case scenario, things happen, but at least you're not losing thousands.
that's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember a
and he
couple
worked
years
so
ago
hard on
reading
it.
about them looking into putting investments into that when they were going to start building the drones like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just recently saw some drones like built like that, walking dogs for people. So
Oh,
they're,
yeah.
so they're like already built and made and doing things.
Yep.
So it's interesting.
These things are, yeah,
They're
they're in
they're
the
here.
wild.
They're here. Yeah,
They're here.
they're here.
By the way, how long have you been using his bot?
I haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
I
Gotcha.
just, okay, so we have a little backstory. I'm looking for
Hmm.
the mute button because I'm eating popcorn too. When y'all are talking, I'm eating popcorn, but at the same time,
Hmm.
okay, so Code was in a ladies' live that has nothing to do with numbers. Okay, he was just
Hmm.
in there, random, and I joined, and another guy joined from Canada. And the dude that joined from Canada was like the class clown. He was drunk all the time. And I mean, he would go hard. Okay. He would insult people, but he was so lovable in a weird sort of way. So him and Code started talking. It turns out he's a numbers guy too. Like he does stocks too in Canada though.
Hmm.
And so they talked for a couple of hours and everybody was just listening.
Damn.
I know a little bit just because I've gleaned it throughout the time. So I was able to keep up to a degree, not know
Hmm.
like what they do. I like tune out at a certain point. Probably what you know too. I just tune out, but little bit. So we kind of bonded us three. And then the next, I wasn't able to go live yet and have people join the panel. So I was getting ready to start my lives. I was doing like the 30 minutes where you can't have anybody but you're by yourself. And Code would show up, and old dude would show up in that girls panel a couple of more times, and he was running people. People was starting to hate him. Okay.
Oh shit.
Well, and me and Code would just be laughing and carrying on with him because Code's so awesome. Well, I finally could do lives. I finally got my live, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it. But that drunk dude came on, and he goes, I'm drunk. I want to have a good time, and I can't. Everybody keeps kicking me out, and everybody keeps blocking me. I said, "Come on, dude. I'm gonna open my live, and it's gonna be about you tonight." So I did, and that was my first live I ever did. Him and some other dude got into it. But it was a nightmare. Okay, Code was there, and Code just every time I was somewhere, me and him ended up in the same place, and we just kind of stayed steady across the board. And so after that, we would message each other just bits and pieces of stuff, and that's when he told me about his beta testing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but
Yeah, it's
yeah,
very interesting.
he's a doll.
He's a good dude.
Where are you from?
I'm from Florida, but
Well,
I'm originally from Russia.
from Brooklyn,
From where? Brooklyn?
Russia.
Oh,
Russia.
Russia.
Right on.
Yeah. How did you guys get Brooklyn?
Girl, you sound like no sleep till Brooklyn. That's what I heard.
Oh.
Russia,
No sleep
damn.
till Brooklyn.
How long
Well,
you
what
been in
about you
Florida?
guys?
I'm in Wisconsin, but I'm originally from Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
What about you, Kimberly?
I'm from New York. I'm in New York.
Right on.
Ah, there goes the Brooklyn.
She right down the road from Brooklyn.
Nice. Hell yeah.
That's where
Um,
Code lives.
Brooklyn, right?
Code's in New York. Is he in Brooklyn?
Oh, I figured it was some part of New York, but I'm not sure where. Maybe
I'm
in
not
I'm
sure
Bronx
I'm
or
there
in
something.
either.
I'm in upstate right now. I'm not in the city.
Oh,
Well,
upstate. Oh, that's even better.
I agree. You ever heard of Dick and Jenny's up there, Kimberly?
Oh yeah, Dick and Jenny's is right by me.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh, I'm coming
I know
over.
Dick and
I am
Jenny.
coming to your
Yeah,
house. That is it. You better mark it down. You're only 12 hours from me. You're closer to me than Louisiana is to me.
yeah. Dick and Jenny's has the best food.
And they're from
How'd you
Louisiana.
hear about Dick and
Because
Jenny's?
that, okay, so I'll tell you that story. So I had a friend that I grew up with down here that moved to the town across she was in Canada. She's from Louisiana, but she was in Canada, but it was across upstate New York where you go through what's that town that's by the Niagara
It,
Falls?
it, it's on Grand Island. Yeah, it's where I grew up. I grew up on that
Oh
island. I
my
worked at
God,
that
it's
place.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's one of the next most beautiful
Yes.
places. It's so beautiful. So I went to me and my son, one of my sons went to go. I have four. One of my sons went on vacation. We tried to get two, but they didn't work out. But anyway, we went to go visit her, and she said we're gonna go cross over to the U.S. from Canada. We're gonna go
Yeah.
over there and go to a few different places. And she said I'm gonna take you to Dick and Jenny's because they were
Those are
in
the best.
Louisiana. They were in
Hmm.
Louisiana when Katrina hit, and
Yeah.
they had restaurant down there. And then once that the storm hit, they relocated and opened Dick and Jenny's there. And so we went, and they had a piano guy playing the
Yes, they got the
piano.
piano player. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got those old singers, and so it used to be called Del and Herbs before that,
Oh
and
my God.
it's
Yes,
Dick and
indeed.
Jenny's now. I listen. It was one of my first jobs when I was like 14, and I worked there on and off.
Okay. Yes,
So yeah,
indeed.
so that's a historical building there on Grand Island.
Well,
And
they did
so a
good.
person I know just came out with a historical book about the whole area. It just came up for sale, a whole historical book about the island, about those bridges, about the whole Niagara area, about the music. Yeah, it's like a big thing for us up here in Niagara area. Yeah, it's cool.
Well,
And
I want to come visit you without a doubt.
so I was thinking about that today because I have a trunk here, and so my dad and my grandpa left all this historical stuff that goes like all the way back to the early 1900s and 1800s. I was thinking about that a lot today because my dad, my uncle, and my grandfather were all firemen, And so, obviously I was thinking about firemen today or yesterday. So yeah. So a lot of that historical remembrance and documentation are in those history books here. Yeah.
Epic.
Nice.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Epic. Yeah, totally epic.
Yeah, I figured out when I looked about how far you are from where I am, it's probably about no more than 13 hours. And Louisiana's 15 from here, so I can make that drive.
So yeah, you guys aren't that far. I have a girlfriend that like lives part time in Denver, and sometimes she just sent me a video tonight. She's in some hot springs, so she's out. She's not in Denver right now. I'm not sure exactly where it was, but right at 11:11, she sent me a video of the hot springs, and she's like, "Girlfriend, because my son's getting ready to move to the Carolinas." And so I was just telling her I'm getting ready to pare my stuff down so I have enough just to like fit in my car so I can travel and just go. Because that's my youngest son, and like we're getting done to where we don't want to live in wintertime anymore. And so I used to always just live between New York and Florida, New York and Florida, and I'm like, I'm ready to go, so I don't have to be in wintertime at all anymore. And I can just travel and do that. And I'm like, oh, I'm ready to come. I'm ready to get in the hot spring. You know, put the suitcase in the back of the vehicle and go.
I bet
And
that's
so she sent me a whole video of it. Yeah, she's like, look at the green part. She's like, that's where you want to get in the hole and jump in, into the hot spring. And we know how healing those healing waters are, right? Yeah.
I would love it. You gotta come stay by me
Yeah.
too in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It looks like the Caribbean here, but it's freshwater and no jellies, no sharks.
I'm down.
It's really cold though until like August and September. It's like the lake
I'm in between
right
Niagara
now.
Falls and Buffalo. I'm used to I'm used to cold, hot, cold, whatever.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when I learned with Dick and Jenny's about having to have a license. I mean, a permit to bring seafood that far across state lines.
Yeah, if you want to go like up into Maine and stuff to get those lobsters, those cold water lobsters and the shrimp. And then so we live near the Niagara power plant, but so yeah, if you want to go to certain places, it's so weird. Oh, excuse me. Can I get a passport and a permit? I want to go here, there.
I need
So
some
did you go
crawfish.
into Canada? Yeah,
Yeah,
crawfish.
yeah, we stayed and then we went to Toronto for a day.
Cool.
It was a really good trip. It was really.
Yeah, Toronto's awesome.
I really love Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto's a really cool city, isn't it?
It's the people in Canada are so just, and it was so funny because we got in an elevator in a skyscraper type of hotel for our apartment building,
Oh, did you
and
go in the one that turns around?
no, we didn't go in that. Mm-mm. But
Oh,
there was like we were in the city part, so there was a few high rise like apartments, and
yeah.
and me and my son are looking at each other because inside of the elevator was like it was not high class. I can tell you that it was graffitied out. And we was looking at
Yeah.
each other thinking, oh boy, what is it? Gonna be like somebody jumping out, and she's laughing, she's giggling. I'm like, what? She goes, I can see what y'all are thinking. She said they don't even have guns up here. They can't even. I was
Right.
like, what? She's like, no, there's no guns, nothing like that here in Canada. I said, okay, well, so that's when I learned that the crime wasn't like it is here.
Yeah, it's different up there. It's cleaner and yeah, it's different.
But yeah, it was a good time, and also I learned that Mary Jane was legal.
It's always good.
Well, it's legal here now too.
That was probably my first experience with it being legal too.
Oh, I don't even know. It's not legal everywhere in the United States, like in every state, because I think it's federally legal, but it's state mandated. So I think, they're allowed to mandate it per state, even though they made it federally legal.
Well,
But
I
it's
didn't
all
know
legal
that.
there.
I didn't know they made it federally legal.
I,
But
I
yeah,
think so.
I was in Louisiana and they had billboards saying Mary Jane, $30. I'm like, oh
Wow,
Yeah.
my gosh, the world has changed.
All right.
it really
Well,
has.
yeah, in any American, American Indian place, it's legal. Any place you go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in severe trauma, my body craved that balance. And it was the strangest thing to know that that's what your body needed, but
Huh.
I couldn't get it. But I would love to have if I could have. When I could, it was exactly what I needed. I had to do CBD, because you can
Oh
get
yeah.
CBD. But I'm just not the type of look that can say, hey, bruh, on the street, hey, bruh, can I get It just never worked
Right.
out for me like that.
I walked into a Dairy Queen in Minnesota randomly and walked out with a bag of weed one time.
Oh, that's
It was
funny.
desperate times.
Yeah, I did
That's
that in New
funny.
York City. I told my husband I was like going to those alphabet streets and drop me off at the McDonald's, and that worked out all right. I'm like, what? That was several years ago. I was like a little braver then. I'm a little more mellow now.
It was a different time too.
Different
Oh,
times, right? Yeah.
That's great.
that's funny. Well,
Yeah.
y'all, I am telling you, I have really had a good night. I have to work tomorrow, but I was not really like air quotes going live tonight. But I was in a real crazy live and I wanted to experiment with the screen, which I figured out how to do. And then I got blessed. So Kimberly, I'm gonna start booking. I'm started to book already, actually.
Yeah.
For October, if you want to look at your calendar, I'll send you a couple of dates.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I really like stayed silent today. I mean, earlier this morning I was up in Oracle's live and I was glad that I did.
Yeah, he
Because
usually does a good live.
I was grateful for the prayer and the conversations with God. I felt like I needed that this morning. And then, today I just felt like I needed to anchor in and just meditate and kind of be silent for the day, and just kind of think about my family or like how, what people were thinking about and just let people reach out to me that needed to talk, you know.
That's good. That was the energy for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I don't, yeah, yeah, that. Yeah, definitely. It was the energy. But yeah, I'd like to do that.
All right, I'm gonna
Sounds
hit you
really
up.
good. Yeah,
It's
hit
probably
me
gonna
up.
be like the last week of October.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna give you
Yeah,
two
I'm glad to
dates.
see you back. I'd been thinking about you on and off like several times. I was like, where'd Tina go? Our Saturday Night Live. That was so good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
My daddy died, and
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, thank you. In July, when I was in Louisiana, I was 4 days away from actually being where he was, and he passed. And so I
Did
had
he
a
pass
really
before you got there?
yeah. I didn't get to see him. I didn't get to show my quilt. Nothing.
Oh,
Yep. So it
oh
was
wow.
intense, but I was with my grandbabies, my children. Like it was a good visit overall, and it was just
Yeah.
something I've uncharted territories. My dad was 18 when I was born, so I've had him for he was 70, and it was intense. But I knew for some reason in my spirit that I wasn't going to be able to book out. I wasn't going to be able to get back up here at the end of August. I needed to get September to get settled back in, and then
Right.
kick back off in October. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've really come to this like big thing with grief processing. It was just this July that my dad's been gone 3 years,
Aw,
and this whole thing has really taken me a lot of processing and a lot of letting go, and even letting go of other people in my life. Um,
yeah.
you know,
Oh, well,
I've
that's
I've
huge.
made the statement recently that like I'm going to be 60 this year, And I'm just finally, for the first time in my life, like really feeling safe in my body and anchored in. And it took me a real long time to get here. Um,
Yeah.
you know, we had a lot of conversations last winter, going through a lot of things, and yeah. So uh kind of like this morning, some of my dad's friends sent me a lot of pictures, but I didn't go to any memorials and I didn't feel the need to, but I was grateful that they sent me the pictures of those places and things. And that is all like part of that past history, but you know, yeah.
Yeah, I have learned that too because there was a
Yeah.
lot of trauma associated with my daddy's brother and his
Yeah.
wife and their child, and they didn't even speak to me at my daddy's funeral. And there was a lot of shit that happened when I was little. So
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I found out so much stuff when I was down there. Like my cousin had been involved with my dad's life for a year, and nobody knew. Like she kept it a big secret. That lady at the I'm not gonna go there, but
Yeah.
but I found out a lot of shit. I didn't even know my dad had property, nothing, and
Right.
so it turned into a lot more than I thought it was. And now I'm kind of dealing with a few things, which will be good later. But the way that it all went down, I have went so hard into really under. I had a dream last night that helped me to further my level of forgiveness because I know that it's forgiveness. And I think it's on TikTok. I reposted something. I'll tag you in it. At the
Yeah.
at
Please
the beginning,
do.
it talks about forgiveness. It talks about more stuff in the video, but at the very beginning of it, it talks about forgiveness. And that's my conclusion too. I have come to the conclusion that true forgiveness, like I'm really dissecting it right now, is the key to freedom. And it's not just, and people say it, and this is like, one of those things people say, freedom from forgiveness for self too. But
Yeah, is big forgiveness for self, and that we actually chose this. Or if you think about things like soul contracts, or we chose this for ourselves, or like even now, because like I'm a medium, and my parents' spirits are up in here talking to me all the time, and you get into a different relationship with them from the other side, and then you understand maybe what their other lives were about or what their lives were like before, and you come to new understandings about things over and over and over again, and it changes and changes consistently over and over and over again, and you come to a more peaceful place with it. And I'm really grateful. I mean, gratitude is a huge game changer, and if you
number
practice
one,
gratitude every day and forgiveness, it,
oh,
it changes. Yeah, it changes
well,
all the
that's the
time.
antidote.
Yeah,
So
that is the antidote. That's your
forgiveness
spiritual. Yeah.
forgiveness is the thing because it's so layered into hearing their voices, feeling their energy, and in cases like in mine, their physical touch or sensations or whatever, and having to really get that off of you, like out of you, like really let that go. And then when that happens, it's like it takes so much digging and patience, and it's like the grind. Like I think about the pearl, and I think about like the diamond, and
Yeah.
because you really are like expelling that stuff out of you, and having to have your mind, your thoughts, just kind of cut it off, like cut that away, cut that away, cut that away, and then your true self is emerging up. But letting
Yes,
go of
ma'am.
their thoughts and their energy and what you think they might be thinking, and just all of that, because they're emitting energy to you because of what they did to you, and they want to be forgiven, and they want, but they don't want to admit it, or they're cursing you or whatever. That energy is real. So
It is.
that's what I'm really mastering right now, is my authenticity, my sovereignty is not entertaining thoughts that I think they might be thinking about me, or the dynamic, or the fact that they haven't done anything different, that they're still being mean, all of that. And then what I do every day that helps me through that process is I practice gratitude. I listen to gratitude affirmations. Like, it's really the antidote.
It's like I was like thinking through telling our stories the past couple of years and what others went through and through these doors is leading to better relationships with God and increasing our favor and like through these giftings. And I used to think of it like generational curses, but I removed that word curse and I started focus on claiming the blessings through my family line and what had been lost and what had been found. And then I got into new visions and vibrations, and I started walking through that step by step process. And then I restored what I had lost, and I found it as generational blessings. And then my inheritance was found. Like I turned through doors and I accessed my spiritual inheritance and my generational inheritance and so much more. And I started learning about that DNA coding. And I just found so much more in my soul seeding, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's profound.
Yeah,
You
it's
make
been
sense to me. You don't
extremely
have to ask me
profound.
that. You make sense to me.
Yeah.
Me? You make sense.
Yeah, I'm so much more grounded. Like before, my head used to be like blowing right off my shoulders, and now like my head is secure and my feet are on the ground, and it's so much, you know. And I want to thank you because you invited me into the group when I was just hanging back listening. Like I was just like, you know, I was shy and I was hanging back there listening, and you brought me into the fold. I really want to thank you. I have gratitude for you
Aw,
too, sister.
you're
I really,
welcome.
really do.
We
Yeah,
know
thank
I
you so
dearly
much.
love you. You're very
I,
wise and you're pure
I
hearted, and
love
that
you
just means the
too.
world. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
And it takes a
Yeah,
lot to put all that together and live in
yeah,
your own body.
yeah, man. Yeah. Yo, yeah, yeah. It's huge.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
yeah.
Well, I'm
Mhm.
definitely going to be getting in touch with you in the next few days. I just made the decision yesterday, well, the other day when I got blocked on that live, um, by the host of it, and it was like a host that would have a bunch of people that we would mutually know and like,
Yeah,
you know. But
yeah.
I would go into with the person that I didn't like and was on the fence about trying to make a decision and really trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because we had so many people in common. And
Mm-hmm.
then realizing that the flying monkeys were still coming at me, and I was just really open to really wanting it to work out. And then
Yeah.
once I realized that it's just one of the same old dynamics that just keeps doing that, I was like, no, I'm saying something, and I did, and then he jumped on my case, um and then the host blocked me, and I was like, you know how you like you do your hands like done,
Yeah,
like
you've got pretty good discernment, Tina. I know that
yeah,
about you.
thank
So,
you.
yeah, I trust your judgment. I really do.
Well, I was really relieved because I knew that I was drawn into there and I was tolerating that dynamic. And
Yeah.
whenever it went the way that it went, it was evident. And I just it caused me to stand more in my own truth because
Yeah.
it was real and you couldn't deny it because the topic was truth and fact. And I said, I told a story about my truth being my truth and then the facts on the outside to be able to prove it. Excuse me. And that's what happened in that dynamic. They put it out there in the chat, and so the facts were there. And then when I said something about my truth, they attacked me.
Oh
And
God.
that was just the confirmation. So, it's just best to go with your gut.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to really say if we're not recognizing that we're just had a huge eclipse, we got another one coming. We're in between two Virgo moons, and this is the first time this happened in 1,000 years. And these planetary alignments that have been coming up, and so people are really riled.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it was so
you
like
know,
that too.
people are really riled.
Hmm.
It says they could just take that pause, take a deep breath, take the pause. We know the pause. So yeah. So
So tell
anyways,
me, more about what you just said about the Virgo moon and the like. Break that down. I really want to know about that.
Yeah, so this is the first time we've had this in 1,000 years, and we know we're in the Kali Yuga year. So we had the 7-7 portal, the 8-8 with the Lion's Gate. We just had the 9-9 portal. So what, like, it's a big, huge release. We're releasing. It's a karmic wheel. So everybody's releasing all this karmic clutter and this muddiness, right? That's been built up, and I mean, obviously, it's very apparent with what is happening in the world. If we look at things globally, and even with what happened in our own country, which is just extremely sad, right? And so, like, I don't want to dredge up ugliness, because I don't want to keep feeding into that energy. I don't like to feed into non-beneficial energies. I'm just saying people are riled. So if we could just take that pause, take a breath, because I watch when the chats get really riled up, and I just leave. And even some people would say to me, like, why don't you participate? And like I just said, like, I was like literally beating on my chest, but that's why I have a therapist. I talk to my therapist and cry to my therapist about that. I don't, get heavily into it on the TikTok, because this is a screen where we know, the egregores are, and they attack you and they feed into that. And that's where something is going to take that looshing, or look for a hole in your aura or a hole in your chakra, and take advantage of attacking you through that, right? We know that we should protect ourselves and be in control of ourselves and be building our human biofield and be taking care of ourselves, right? This is all part of self-care and caring for ourselves, and not participating in those kind of actions, for our own body, mind, and soul, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. um I, Personally, I just think that's just getting out of sorts. Like you said, the flying monkeys. Like, if we're walking down the yellow brick road, are we going to participate with the flying monkeys, or are we going to take control of ourselves, to make it through the land of Oz, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So
Can you
yeah,
hear me? Or is my
so
mic?
yeah, I can hear you.
All
Yeah,
right, I gotta learn which one is mic muted and which one ain't. Okay. So yeah, and that's a good learning opportunity right there, what you just said.
right,
With that egregore thing. And okay,
yeah,
so yeah, so that part where when that happened with and a lady immediately reached out to me, that is very pure hearted and very genuine, so I knew that
I
I was
love to hear
confirmed.
that.
Yes, oh my gosh, I knew that was my confirmation. But I had to fight in myself. I could feel that energy from them going over what was said there and the whole thing. And I just kept saying, God is love, God is love, God is love, God is love,
There
God
you
is love.
go.
Every time it would come up as what they might be thinking, or what I could feel, because I know that game now. And what you said was looking for holes in our, what did you say? Looking for holes in our aura, or
Yeah, holes in our etheric field, holes in our aura, holes in our chakras. That's where things are going to attack us. Like, we know that there's non-beneficial energies out there. What's beneficial for our energy, for our human biofield, for us, for our bodies, mentally, physically, emotionally, self-care, fill our cup. And, we can't help others if we're not helping ourselves. And one with ourselves, with God, to be anchored in for ourselves, for our family, with God. And I know you believe that. You just, you say God is love. I believe the same thing. God is love. And that's how we stand strong within ourselves. And that's how we stay anchored in. And that's how we survive the human world. We all have to survive in this human, thrive. I don't want to just use the word survive, but thrive, amongst the human world. And you know Let's
Yeah,
play nice in the sandbox. I like use the thing like let's play nice in the sandbox. Like what?
yeah, I just said
Um,
that today. I
yeah.
do not want to just. Were you on here when Maura was here or not really?
I only came in it on the end.
I'm gonna post it, but she talks about. We talked about. Oh God, what was I just saying when I asked you that? Oh great! Now when I listen to this, I'm gonna be like, why did you forget what you was just saying? Um. Oh, about playing nice. Goodness, it'll come back to me. But what you said sparked something that Mara said. Anyway, let's just move on because it'll come back to me. What
Yeah.
you were saying about
But I
playing nice in the
remember when you
sandbox.
interviewed her when she came on, and I find her to be a very balanced person.
Oh yeah, we talked tonight about how much work it is to get to that level.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, damn, you said playing nice in the sandbox.
Yeah.
And you sparked what it was. When I listen to this replay, I'm gonna know what it was from that. But right now, it's just not coming to me. Anywho, yeah. So there's that. But
But people talk about raising their vibration all the time, and in order to raise our vibration and be in that divine light and place of God is love, and acceptance, it's understanding, nitpicking and dredging, and we have to acknowledge that there's non-beneficial energies, or that there's darkness there, and transmute it, and put our work in those other areas, you know
yeah, for sure. And it ain't easy being cheesy, let me tell
yeah.
you. But yeah, okay, so let me recap what I think I heard you say about the Virgo moon. You said something about Virgo in
Oh
two
yeah,
places.
we have we have two new moons this month. So we had the new Virgo moon, and then we had the blood full moon and an eclipse, and then the 9/9 portal. So it was a lot of intense energies going on
So we
right
already
there.
had the eclipse then, one of them, huh?
So we had the full moon eclipse, and then we're going to have a solar eclipse. And so like we don't want to say we're going to struggle to overcome our inner resistance. We want to don't fight it. We want to have our miraculous personal growth, by doing our releasing. Or I always look up and see, like, what is our mental training process designed to enable us to breach the process, or whatever it is that's highly practical, in a sense that's going to be my responsibility to get through with whatever valuable information.
That's intense what you said, because when I was going through it,
Yeah.
I was like on a surfboard. I was just holding on, just like riding the wave, just like
Yeah, well,
keep your
that's it,
thoughts
right?
up, keep your focus. I was making myself stay focused.
Yeah, and like whatever change that means to make us able to succeed in making it work for us.
There was a lot of trying in there
Yeah.
though. And I still want, there's an affirmation I listen to, and maybe it'll come up. I know whenever I'm listening to it every morning, I'm going to remember to think of you about this part so I can remember it to tell you on the interview. But it's about it's something like, and this is a paraphrase going, I only have good people around me.
Yes.
And I mean it. Like, I am done. That affirmation, I listen to that every single day and have for more than 21 days. And I see the elimination of people that don't need to be around me. And I see, like, the lady that stepped up for me that day. That is a good human being. Maura showed up right away tonight. The lady showed up right away tonight. You showed up right away tonight.
Oh,
And
see,
yeah, I have a great position at my job, and everybody there is just really good. And so I'm just going to keep doing that affirmation and just keep letting it ingrain.
that's divine intelligence.
Yes, indeed.
That's like witness it, accept it, and here it comes. That's divine intelligence just coming right in. I had written down something that it's not here, it's in my kitchen over there on the counter, so I don't have it right in front of me. But I had written down something that I was saying every single day as well. So I do the same thing. I write myself down affirmations and I sing them. And then, like, I speak light language. So I do put on Hertz music, and so I sing light language to myself, and I get out my selenite wands and I dance around here and I sing the light language to the higher Hertz music. So, I do, you know, put my work in. We have to put our work in.
Will you do that for the? I love selenite, but will you like get a whole thing prepared for the night that we do the interview?
Oh, sure.
I would
Sure, yeah.
love
If
the
you want
light
to do that.
language. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
if you want to
all.
do a thing about light language, I would love to do that. We can talk about that for sure. And
All right,
I can
and
show you
look,
what I do.
Scorpios,
Yeah.
I do. I want to know because every time you've been on, it hasn't been your interview. It hasn't been like exclusively your interview, you know?
Okay.
So I want you to feature your stuff. I want to know all of what your stuff. I love it. But
Okay.
you had something, oh my gosh, it's all kind of stuff coming at me right now. Oh, okay. So the end of October, beginning of November is going to be Scorpio season.
Oh, that would be a good time because I'm like a Scorpionic Sagittarius, which is like, what do
Oh,
they call it?
good.
Akaphisius. Is that
I
how they
love
pronounce it?
Sag.
So
All
my
right.
birthday actually falls on 1203.
One,
So
2, 0, 3. Okay, so
yeah.
my baby is a Sagittarius.
Is
Okay, so
she?
yep,
Oh, you got paused. Did you get? That's okay though. So yeah, we can talk about some of the different light languages. That would be fun. I would love to do that. Um, because I really like earlier today, or yesterday before I knew what was going on, I was really bringing out some indigenous, like what they would call indigenous draconian dragon. And so, like, I kind of knew there was disruption in the energy, but that was necessary to balance it out. But then I really was bringing out some angelic languages. So, yeah, I'd love to do that.
all right.
I would love to, yeah, because often when I'm speaking to other people, I'll bring out what needs to be spoken to them.
Love
So,
it.
yeah, that would be fun. I would love to do that. Yeah.
Okay, how if you already know that you would commit to a one date, I would love to do it November 1st. That's a sunny day.
Wait, I got my calendar right in front of me because I was just filling out today to see what's coming up for the month. Let me see, November 1st. Hang on. This is October. Let's go to November. Yeah, November 1st is a Saturday. Okay, let's put it in for November 1st. We do Saturday Night Live with Tina. Saturday Night Live with Tina. Okay, you're in, girl.
Right, I was typing it in too. I'm so excited.
All right.
Yeah, because November 2nd, I'll tell you the story that night about how significant November 2nd is for me. So I'm looking really forward to it. It's a good weekend for me.
All right, perfect.
All right. Well, I really love you. I love
I
everybody.
love you too.
My Emerald Flame is still here. I love her so much. And everybody that's still here, I just want to thank you. And I am going to be heading out. And you and I have a date. And I'm looking really forward to it.
Thanks, darling.
Yep,
I'm
yep,
looking
yep.
forward to it too.
I enjoyed it. Have a great night.
You too.
Love y'all. God is love.
God is love.